Mr. Vikram Gandotra. Mr. Vikram is an accomplished professional with sound domain knowledge of power transmission and distribution sector, and particularly in the digitalization applications for power utilities. He has worked for over 34 years with Siemens in the fields of digital grid, smart grid, protection and automation, high voltage, substations, network planning, medium and low voltage switchgears, and in various roles in strategy, project management, engineering, business development. Mr. Vikram is an invited member to the National Executive Council and past chair of Smart Grid Division of EMA. He is a BE, MBA, and a research scholar at IIT Delhi. Today, he will be talking about building agile T&D. So let's welcome Mr. Vikram.
Thank you, Ms. Goodlane. Before I go into the presentation which I have prepared for a few slides, I would like to just mention a couple of things. Over the years, there has been more focus always on creating a lot of generation in India. So first, the trend was to build a lot of thermal power plants. We were living in a world of shortages where always there was too much of load and too little generation. So focus was there on building large-scale power generation plants. Then came larger number of transmission lines to carry that. And in the meantime, we have come to a situation that the distribution sector got neglected. It did not get the attention that it deserved. As a result of which, it was plagued by serious problems, which led to unbalance of the loads and revenues, and everybody found that it is becoming unviable business. At the same time, we had a situation where customers' aspirations, they have been increasing tremendously. As a result of which, we found that the discoms were at a receiving end, that the customers were unhappy, they were making huge losses, and there was a new player in the gear room which came, a new dimension which came. That was the renewable energy. And now let's go through this slide. While we go through this slide, I will explain more what has been happening. So while I was thinking about what to speak on today, I thought that it is very important that the T&D for tomorrow sector needs to be very agile, very dynamic, to keep pace with the changing requirements from the customers, the changing requirements from the generation side, and in all to be ready for the growth that this country is capable of achieving. So let's begin with the agile T&D. What do we mean by this? So of course, we know that electricity consumption will double. It will also become more and more renewable. More than 50% of the energy will be by 2035 will be from renewable. And even if you look at the historic growth in India from 3% in 2009 to 10%, that is the share of RES in electricity produced. This is from the CEA document, and this percentage is going to become much higher in the coming years. So is the installed capacity in the renewable. If you see, in 2019, we were barely 13 gigawatt, and we have already crossed 96. So this is something which is happening really in a sector, power sector, which was before this period. If you see before this period of 2019, 2014, 2015, it was a very, let me say, a large elephant-like sector. It was not changing much. But now with so much of renewable which has been pumped in, even in the Indian grid, earlier we used to talk about the German grid or the European grid, where a lot of renewable is there. Sometimes, some days, they have a negative price of power in the market because there is so much renewable power being fed into the grid. So that is something which we are still not reached. But in the coming years, it will not be surprising if we have newer problems because of renewables. So another thing which is happening is that very high rate of urbanization. Our cities are becoming more and more crowded, larger mega cities, and uh, why we are interested in this is because about 40% of the energy which is consumed is being consumed within the buildings. So they are the large loads which are there in the urban centers, and this is where humans and all of us live, all of us work, uh, and all the buildings, entertainment, hospitals, everything is part of this large 40% chunk. So what is happening is like when we talk of agility, there is a distributed energy system approach which is happening. That means we are going down at a more granular level in terms of managing the electric generation. Even generation is getting granular. We are getting more granular in terms of controlling this power, say whether it is renewables or whether it is storage. That is a new topic which is also coming now, and how to build resilience in the local networks. So starting from high voltage, we have got now digital substations, we have got HVDCs, we have got FACTS, which are all controlled by digital means to be more flexible and more agile, so that the system operators can change the whole configuration of the network, can make it more adaptable to the changes which are there, both on the consumption side as well as in the generation side, so that reliability of the power supply is maintained and the customer always gets the power whenever he or she switches on the switch on the wall. Yeah, and that is there. And with digitalization, of course, we are having a lot of new concepts. We are also now talking about new business models like peer to peer. That means I will generate power and sell to my neighbor in down the street, and we will have our own exchange. So these are sort of possible technical solutions which are already there. Of course, regulatory and the other infrastructure have to come and fall in place. Then we also must understand the consumer of today, the people who are 16 years old, 20 years old. They are absolutely computer IT savvy. They love information and they want information. If the utilities of today do not respond and cater to them in terms of giving information, in seeking their advice, and also engaging them in their own programs like demand response program, they will be sufferers in the long run. So they must adapt, and this is one way in which digitalization will help. And another is the markets. No? So earlier in the Indian grid, we used to have maybe a few hundred generators which were to be controlled. Now with solars and wind, this number has gone above probably a 5-digit number, and it will keep on increasing. So how does one manage such a large grid and ensure that there are transactions which are being done between the various players and keep a track of that? There is no other way than to have a market mechanism, for which we need very good digitalization tools, and for that platform must be created. So if I look at one example, now this is when we talk about decentralized power, one campus, it could be a large industry, it could be large campus, or it could be a set of large industries, or it could be a set of large residential complexes which have their own generation, distributed generation, own storage solutions, own electrical and power electronic monitors, and softwares to manage the inflows, manage the generation and the loads. Now, this is where digitalization will play a very, very important role. And when we talk about distributed energy systems, they are very strongly coupled with the digital solutions. Now, if we look at the areas, first I would like to draw your attention to the bottommost. So this is the energy value chain from generation, transmission, smart grid, consumption, and presumption. And these areas, they are connected with sensing devices, with controlling devices through a cloud-based system or some other system, because communication is a fast-changing world. It is bringing up newer solutions. Every year we have 4G to 5G, maybe 6G or something. IoT, narrowband, NB-IoT, whatever is coming, we are all the time adopting the latest technology, which is most resilient, which is most reliable, and very important, most economical. Yeah. And what are these digital applications that we are using? First, we go for planning and simulation. That means before the system is even built, we go in with a simulation and digital twin concept. We do the whole plan of the network, how it will behave, and then when we build it, we are controlling it through the grid control. And in case there are any faults, we do it through the diagnostics. And very important, manage the assets and have a digital substation, which will obviate the need for even commodities like copper cables. They will be replaced by fiber optics for the signals, and concept like virtual power plants. When you have multiple generation sources and multiple loads, then we create a model which is easier to manage the whole network through a virtual power plant. And this is possible through digitalization. Then we have a virtual smart metering, monitoring, energy efficiency and analytics. This is during the life cycle of the system which is running. And what are the technologies that we will be needing? Firstly, as I said, sensing, then connecting through IoT, modeling of the data, integration, controlling, managing, and artificial intelligence. So these are things which are now part of the power system. Earlier, we used to consider power system, copper wires, bus bars, maybe circuit breakers, large transformer with oil. But today, all these devices are needed. Of course, we cannot do without the transformers or circuit breakers, but they are there is a layer of these technical, electronic, and IT products which is based on this electrical system, and they are coupled so strongly that without these today, we are not able to manage these assets properly. Now, if I look at some of the solutions which are there for renewable system, on the left side, we have got AC power for large grid-connected power plants. We have power evacuation systems. Then we have, of course, I mentioned FACTS, turnkey solutions, STATCOM, EHV. So there is a lot of flexibility with regard to the stability of the grid which is required, and this is possible through these solutions. And when we come to the medium voltage side, then of course there are conventional AIS switchgear, GIS switchgear, low voltage chargers, etc. And on the other side, when we go closer to the consumer, there is of course rooftop solar. Then we will have a solar SCADA. We will have a design system. We will have a digitalized system solution for decentralized energy operating system. And what we have built for Western India, Siemens has built a renewable energy management center, which connects all the renewable large sources in the Western grid and gives a picture to the Western Load Dispatch Center. How is the generation which is coming and how it is to be managed? Without which, it would be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to manage the integration of the renewable power there. Now, looking at a new kid on the block. As we talk about, some years ago, I was asking some people in a lecture if they had heard of a company called Tesla. Out of probably 500 people, maybe there was one person or two person who had heard of the name. And I did tell them that please wait for a couple of years and it will become a household name. And this is what is happening around the world. And if you look at India, we are behind, but not that behind. You must have heard that Ola got booking of 1 lakh electric scooter on the first day. So this is here to stay. And to do that, we are got solutions which are right from consulting, hardware, charge point management, depot management, energy management, grid integration, solution engineering. So these are again topics which are coming for the grid T&D grid players. They have to build switchgear which are suitable. They have to make chargers, and all this while they have to ensure that their grid remains stable. Yeah, it should not happen that everybody puts their car on charging and the consumers who want to watch cricket on the TV, they have a blackout. Yeah, so something like that is to be ensured, and that is where the integration of these charging and the effect has to be very, very carefully monitored. Now, as I said, 40% of electricity goes to the buildings. Before some time, there were absolutely no automation, no control in the buildings. Now, gradually, this sector is also seeing an investment in terms of monitoring, because it is a very good business case to save money if you have the right instruments and the right controls all over the building. And not only that, with the epidemic like COVID, it also makes sense that you can maintain social distancing, you can maintain where people are going, tracking, etc. So all those solutions we are building, we are delivering, and also we are now having intelligent buildings. So not only are the buildings got instruments which are capturing all the data, they are also communicating this to remote site. They are also now generating power plant and charging electric vehicles. And maybe in future, this will be also what is called V2G. That means vehicle to grid connectivity. The grid or the building or the load, they get power supply back from the vehicles which are parked in the parking. So this is about buildings, and this is my final slide. So on the left side, we have traditional grid. Now, although this grid does have traditional sources of energy, it is currently having a lot of non-conventional sources of energy. It has got utilities which are moving from coal to solar, and same is the case in rooftop. So they are now themselves, they are changing. We are having a market. In India, we have a market where the energy which is traded is still very small, but it is growing very fast. And there are new products which are coming, every year or so. And if you look at the other side, which is the consumer, so traditionally, the grid and the consumer, they had a link which was more or less very strongly coupled in one place, and they would, be going on for 30, 40, 50 years without any major change in the way either side was behaving. However, now this side also has changed. There is local generation, there is newer type of loads, and the area where these two intersect, there is a lot of new use cases which are coming. There are things like distributed energy solution, energy storage, energy market integration, adjustable loads. Adjustable loads is what is demand response. So there is a very strong business case for a consumer to participate in shaving the peak of a utility when there is a grid, overload, likely a critical situation which is going to happen. That is the time when adjustable loads through demand response can be very, very useful. So this is the area where we are going to see lot of new use cases, lot of new ideas, lot of new pilots which will come, and many of them will succeed, and that will chart the course for how both the side, the consumer as well as the grid, will behave. So this is what my message was, that there is going to be a lot of changes. There is a lot of nimbleness which is required, both by the manufacturers, by the grid operators, and of course, everybody has to come and serve the ultimate consumer. Yeah, that is what is aim of everybody. With that, I come to an end of the presentation. Thank you so much.